morning, how are you? It is a beautiful Saturday. I decided to take the 335D out today. It's been a long time since I've been able to take it out and drive around and really enjoy the car. And so I'm really pumped to be able to drive around. I literally moved it this morning to get it out and to start it up, and literal cobwebs, spiders crawling across the windshield. So it's been too long since I've driven this car, but I'm super pumped to drive it here today and get some nice driving roads going, things like that, and just enjoy the vehicle a little bit with you guys. And so bear with me while I try to get to that spot and just drive around and enjoy. I'm super excited to drive this car. This car has been great. It definitely has some things that needs to be fixed. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but the AC went out on me, which is so great. Love that so much. Love that for me. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day. I got my coffee going this morning, as you saw. I had to switch it out into one of these cups because the E90 has the smallest cup holders in the world, and I cannot fit my thermos in it, even though it's a pretty standard sized thermos. We're gonna jump to the action here. Let's do this thing. All right, you guys, just exploring some of this region here. I'm not like crazy familiar with it, but some nice twisty roads. I realized as soon as I hit these twisty roads that I totally forgot to take all the tools out of my trunk. So there's literally tons of tools in there, but this is some nice twisty roads. This is like really where this car does well. Yeah, you can hear all the tools clinking around. It's great. But car does great in these roads, quite honestly. I need to turn off traction control. Do not mind the car. The car is filthy. Like I said, this car's literally been sitting for a minute here, so feel there the open diff kind of struggling a little bit with that corner. This car still does have an open diff. Yeah, this car is great. Phenomenal car. I mean, it's handling these roads so well. These are super tight roads. I mean, super tight and technical, not an issue, honestly. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of hear some of the sounds. I'm hoping that this really comes through on camera, some of the noise and sounds. I'll tell you what is coming through on camera is this foggy window, which unfortunately, there's really nothing I can do with this window right now because the AC is not working. I'm gonna try to run the heater though. So I had mentioned earlier that the alignment itself is not really set up for like canyon carving or anything like that. However, it does have a decent amount of camber in the actual front. The front and the rear has a little bit of camber. The front's around 2.5 degrees of camber, which is plenty to help with these turns here. And it also specifically is designed to help me with our wheel setup, which unfortunately is a little bit too wide for the front. They are 18 by 9.5, and because I wanted a meteor setup, and I wanted it to be square across the board, I wanted the same size wheel in the front and in the back. This was kind of the compromise that was necessary here. But yeah, you can see the beautifully fogged up windshield. These are beautiful roads. 2.5 degrees of camber in the front really is necessary to help and clear the actual fenders. So it's kind of a result of having to run spacers in the front. So in the car, in the original setup, when I got these wheels, I was still on standard like factory shocks, and because of the factory shocks, it made it pretty easy to clear everything. But as soon as I upgraded to the coilovers, the tire was immediately just hitting on the actual the shock. So I had to start running a spacer to try and salvage that and make some room, unfortunately. And of course this windshield is, I mean, atrocious. This is so bad. But really, this wheel setup has been pretty great as far as me enjoying the actual wheels. The wheels look great. They're lighter. I can fit more of this tire underneath them, so they definitely do handle the road better. They handle everything that we're kind of doing better with the car, which is great. That's something I'm extremely grateful for with this wheel setup. However, there was that compromise in the front. Now, I have heard people say that if you want to kind of fix that issue, there is a way to do it by simply switching over to pre-facelift hubs. So if we were ever to consider that, that would be a pretty great alternative, supposedly. I haven't looked into it enough myself to know, but that would be a pretty great alternative to this issue that we're having with the wheel clearances. Because ideally, I wouldn't want to run spacers. I am running Motorsport hardware spacers and their wheel studs to just make sure everything stays on the car. But that is not ideal. I don't love the idea of running spacers. I wish I didn't have to. All right, you guys, we are just canyon hunting right now, to be honest. I did stop at O'Reilly's and get some windshield cleaner and some paper towels. You can see them right there, just to try and clean this thing up a little bit so I can see better out of it myself even. It looks better, but we're also not in direct sunlight, so we'll see kind of what it looks like once we're in direct sunlight. But yeah, I'm just looking for some canyon roads right now. I reached out to a few people that I know that know this area very well to see if there's any other roads and places that we could drive. And this is obviously all in Mexico, not anywhere else. And it's also simulated driving. This is all AI, not real. Let's see, this is the test with the sun. Okay, you can see my smudges. It's not perfect. Okay, I'm not a detailer. But I might need to call up my buddy Cameron, who is a detailer, and have him. Yeah, that's atrocious right there. Let's not look that way at all when we hit the sun. One of my dreams, and I was just talking with my wife about this, one of my dreams is probably to buy a piece of land out here somewhere and be able to just do whatever we want on it, you know, far enough that we can do whatever we want, but close enough that we're not completely separated and segregated from all the people we love and our church and everything. I've maybe found somewhat of a nice canyon road. We'll see. We'll kind of see how we like it. We'll see how the road is, and if it's not filled with potholes. Yeah, this, one of the things that I've loved modification wise, it's kind of a double-edged thing. I love it, but then at the same time there's some compromise in a daily sense. So when I upgraded to the Feal Coilovers, I simultaneously upgraded all my control arms to be the M3 control arms, and that was actually through FCP Euro, which it's really cool because FCP Euro has the lifetime warranty on all their parts. So I'm able to buy performance parts and drive the car like it's meant to be driven, and then eventually replace those parts for free just because of the warranty. And so that is extremely appealing for these parts and stuff. But that's definitely a beautiful thing about FCP Euro, something that I've found to love a ton. But these coilovers, along with these control arms, unfortunately, it's like I said, double-edged sword. It translates a lot more feedback, which is great for driving, but then for actual daily driving, it's a bit too crazy for me. The actual road vibrations and noise, because with the standard top hats on stock stock shocks and stuff, has a bunch of dampening in it, and then on top of that, obviously the actual shocks themselves are a lot less aggressive. But for whatever reason, with these coilovers, and the control arms themselves, there's so much more feel. Don't worry, that's not a warning for any issues. That's a cold weather warning that the car decides to send to you and freak you out. That is the noise that no BMW owner wants to hear. But yeah, this is a pretty nice road, honestly. Oh yeah, open diff cannot hang in these twisties with this torque. It is not loving life at all. Okay, let's watch out for this guy flying with the porter bodies. That is not a New Year's gift that I'm looking for there. All right, this is pretty technical, it seems like, up here. Tight right here. Oh yeah, open diff cannot hang here. Yeah, there's just not much grip up here, guys. That is crazy. Supposedly this car came with an E-diff, which is supposed to electronically help kind of with the lockup and stuff, but yeah, no shot. Good luck with that. It's not locking up whatsoever. All right. Honestly, I don't know if it's just me, but uphill is way more fun to me than downhill canyon carving. Again, I don't know if it's just a me thing, but that's my experience with it. I don't love canyon carving going downhill as much as uphill. I feel like I definitely feel like the throttle, the amount of throttle that I need to be giving, it's mostly on the brakes, obviously, and thankfully the brakes are great on this. Again, FCP Euro, I got Hawk pads with Zimmerman rotors, which have been great. I upgraded those, and those have been a pretty big game changer, actually, for the actual car. All right, let's see which way we want to go. I just flipped back. Honestly, I just went back to where I kind of came from on that canyon road. There's not much else that I could find today, but you know what? We found this road. It's beautiful. It's really tight, technical, twisty, and it's fun. Like I said, I love the uphills a lot more than the downhill sections, and so this is like gonna be somewhat of a brief uphill section until we start descending back down, but we'll enjoy it while we can. This is a fun piece of road here, and I saw a car there up ahead, so hopefully we don't catch up to them too quickly. Hopefully they are ripping just like we are, but if they haven't, it's okay. We had a pretty great time on this road and it was quite enjoyable. But man, check that out. That is beautiful right there. All right, I'm gonna slow down for a little bit, try to create some space with this car ahead of us, and then we'll go from there. All right, I think we got enough space now with the car ahead of us. Yeah, I think one of the reasons that I don't necessarily love the downhill sections, obviously you got to be on the brakes like crazy. I don't think I realized how steep this was. No wonder the car couldn't keep up. Well, the diff really couldn't keep up with this road. It's just like, I don't really, yeah, I mean, it's the brakes. I don't love just driving, you know, whatever, 7/10 on the brakes. I'd rather be on throttle for that section and that portion. But it is part of it, you know. Oh, we got a little rub there. Wow. Putting these Feal Coilovers to work here on this road, and honestly, they're doing amazing on this road. It's pretty great how well they're doing here. These like dips and stuff, it's pretty good. There it is, me saying pretty good again. But yeah, it's uphill is way more fun. I don't know what it is. Maybe one of these days we'll be able to do like a hill climb or something like that, which, you know, obviously that'd be kind of fun. I don't think that I'd be necessarily trying to do it in a competitive fashion, but in a more enjoyable fashion for sure. And so yeah, that's super tight there. That is phenomenal. This car just takes it. It is pretty crazy how well it does on these roads here. I mean, all of this is more slightly downhill, but mostly kind of flat feeling, and the car just does so great on it. It's great. Well, this is definitely a road for the books. We'll definitely hang on to this road here for future drives, and maybe even like feeling out adjustments and stuff, especially once we get an upgraded diff. That will definitely improve this driving experience here, especially in an uphill section. This open diff was struggling. If you couldn't hear it on camera, it was just peeling out every single time we were trying to get on throttle going uphill in these sections. So that was a pretty phenomenal road to drive on. We'll go back again. But I'll just kind of wrap up this video, give you kind of my final thoughts, and we're gonna head to the gas station now because we need gas. So we're gonna go get some gas. That was super fun. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to this car, there's a lot of, you know, desire that I have, a lot of ambition and ideas. My tuner, Santjer Performance, I might be totally butchering how you pronounce that, but he has one of the fastest 335D cars I mean, I think it's probably in the world at this point, and he's working on tons of things constantly, and he's working on kits for it. He has a triple turbo set up, and you know, obviously that's not the immediate goal there for me. Triple turbos right away and all that different stuff. I would love to at least get to a place where we're actually, you know, maybe hybrid turbos with some dual pumps, eventually upgrade the injectors, and really for me, there's like interior things that I would love to do as well. Like, I don't mind the wood grain, but at the same time, I think I want something different. Maybe it's like some other material. I don't think I'm gonna do that fake carbon fiber. Maybe if somebody wanted to sponsor me with some real carbon fiber trim, I would totally take it. Not maybe, I would totally take it. That'd be really cool. I would really love that. And even when it comes to other elements of the car, when it comes to suspension and, you know, bushings, upgrading the differential bushings and subframe bushings, all these little things I think will make a massive difference on the car. I have an actual diff brace that's been sitting waiting to be installed. I need to replace my harmonic balancer. I need to do a lot of things. I need to replace the center support bearing on my drive shaft, along with the Guibo or the flex disc that's actually there. But all these things, you know, I'm excited to kind of journey along with you guys on them, and you let me know what kind of content you prefer, and we'll kind of go from there. We'll make more videos. We'll kind of figure things out here as we go along, and I'll get better at shots. I'll get better at audio. I apologize for the wind in that first video, but all these things will get better with time. We'll develop those things, and we'll get better. We'll grow. We'll adapt. We'll change, and I'm excited to go on this journey with you guys. And so as we take this car along on the journey, and we take my E36, those of you that don't know the story behind the E36, I've had that car for maybe around 9 years. Actually, it might be more, maybe almost 10 years. Yeah, maybe 9 years. 9 years now. And unfortunately, it has never gotten the love that it really deserves. I bought that car for $200. $200. That is a steal for a car. I mean, who even hears of a $200 car? Not only was it a $200 car, but I actually was able to still drive it. I bought it in Indiana at an auction, and was able to drive it all the way to Chicago, where I was born and raised, and now it's here with me in California. But that car is super special to me. It's kind of one of those forever cars that I never want to let go of. Even though it had been in an accident, it's maybe not the most perfect chassis to be building, and right now it is not in good shape. But it was a car that I really loved driving, super enjoyed. The driving dynamics, the interior is, you know, the tan, and so we'll be changing that out for black. But it's all coming together, guys. It's all coming together, and it's getting better and better every single day. When it comes to the E36, I have a supercharger kit, high performance, and it seems like it's gonna work great. I emailed him recently because I bought that kit around 6 years ago from him, and he just let me know that there's been revisions and updates that make it even better, which is, I mean, pretty great. And so we have a motor that I've been talking to a guy about for a while now. He's got this motor down in Los Angeles, and so you know, we might even upgrade the motor a little bit, because he's got the 2.8 from the 328, so we might pop that in there instead of keeping the 2.5 liter. I don't know, we'll see. You know, when I had the 2.5 liter, I always was telling myself that it was better because there's more space between each cylinder wall, so when, you know, you're introducing higher boost, it does better. But then at the same time, a little bit of extra displacement would be kind of nice, partnering with a supercharger, which is pretty limited in the amount of displacement that it can actually introduce. But I think it'd be a cool setup. We'll make sure that it gets the proper cooling for the supercharger and all those things, so that we can really build this car out and enjoy it, and be able to drive it hard and drive it to the track, and it'll be a great setup there still. I am considering maybe setting up the 335D to be able to tow the E36. I mean, this thing's got enough power, it's got enough everything to do it. It's a matter of brakes and tongue weight and all these different things that everybody will go crazy about. But it might be something cool. I think it'd be kind of fun to be able to trailer my E36 to the track in the 335D. These motors are built for it. They're used in X5s, which literally people tow with all the time. It's not going to be the same thing as a pickup truck, of course, but it's got the power band for it. It's got everything for it. But that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see kind of what this looks like in the future, but I enjoy making these videos. I'm glad that we got to go on this journey. And so again, subscribe, like, and if you have any thoughts, ideas, whatever it may be, drop it in the comments. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys later.